You're not even, like, you don't even know what's happening. It's like, it's a screen. Niros, you know, I find myself puttering around on, like, a website or something, not actually interested in. I find myself, I don't know, always sitting in this couch here. I gotta, like, do yoga or something. I have mild back problems, which I just know will grow into something more serious if I don't, you know, take some very simple precautions. You find yourself on Dig. A good website, you know, go on Dig. But then sometimes, you know, it's like, you know, drift by the homepage like several times over. Again. So yeah, I haven't updated anything in the last 2 minutes. Oh, really? Oh, Yeah, what about some other site? You know, just drift up to, like, the favorite section, you know. And in all that, it's not all that bad. You're not, like, getting drunk or something, you know. But over time, your time just gets eaten up. And you wake up and you're just like, have I done anything recently? You've been doing stuff, but there's other stuff which is plainly obvious. And things like, oh, you know, that would be oh so hard, or, you know, you don't have the resources. It's like when you know you want to call someone, and you have a phone, and you have their number, and you don't. It was almost like 2 months ago I made the video, Ideas for Middle-earth. That's meant to be for Peter Jackson. Did the Lord of the Rings movies, making a couple more movies, and I thought, you know, I could put out my ideas. And I thought to myself at the time, and it's not the first time I've thought to myself these things, I ought to write a letter to Peter Jackson. I mean, I'm sure he must get thousands of letters, and what are the odds, you know, he reads mine or something, but, you know, I mean, come on, how much could it cost, you know, write up a letter? Probably costs a lot of postage to send something to New Zealand, but, I can afford that. I do have a job. Send him a letter. Do that, probably, right? Send them several, you know, send them once a week, you know, and after a while I'd be like, wow, I've got like 100 letters here, yeah, maybe I should read one of them. And then cool stuff might happen. And for 100 other cool people out there that I'd like to meet or see or stuff, people that I actually even know in real life, that I don't call up and up. It was just recently that I called up a friend of mine whom I basically haven't seen in like a couple of years, despite the fact that he lives like 20 minutes away. But we went to different high schools, and it just sort of drifted, and we just sort of... And I was like, wait a minute. Why don't I just call that guy? And I could... He's, you know, he's not that far away. I could... Yeah, Niros is this weird blindness. We don't see freaking obvious possibilities. I mean, me and my idea stuff, gee, man, you know... This is all this, like, me, by myself. I write text, and sometimes I do videos. Now, the way it's very easily inputted into the computer, because the camera is working right now. In any case, the text stuff is working, you know. And that's what I want to do. It's what I love to do, you know. And sometimes, you know, I kind of don't. No, it's a weird thing to define. Because when you talk about, drifting away from what you love to do and ought to do, and just sort of doing some pointlessness instead, well, you have to define what stuff is pointless and what stuff is not. Because I know some things that may be superficially pointless, or superficially pointful, may in fact turn out to be the opposite. Thing. You know, sometimes I just, you know, I need to just play a random video game. You know, and I like boot up the Wii, and I got like something on the Virtual Console maybe, and I'm playing like Sonic the Hedgehog for the bajillionth time, or Restart or something. Sometimes that's actually what I need. I figure I'll pick if I'm stressed or something. And if I just relax and play this game, you know, or sometimes my brain needs to defrag. If you're one of those, you've been thinking about so much stuff, it's like, defrag. You know, I've always had a thing, you know, and you can look back at previous videos for this theme, of, I love freedom. I hate stress. I hate coercion. One of my greatest fears is that I would, or may in the future, coerce myself into doing, what I love in such a way that I stop loving it. If I make creativity a job, I force myself into a regimen. I'm not saying you should force yourself into a regimen. I'm not saying, you should beat yourself up. No, there's another side of that. Aristotle, I think it was, used to talk about virtues as being things in the middle. And that, like, on the one hand, you could be coward, and on the other hand, you could be, a foolhardy idiot who just, like, thinks he's invincible. And in the middle, there's, like, what is real bravery, something like that. Or I might say there's Niros of just sort of not doing anything and not caring. On the other side, something else I should invent a word for, of, like, a frenzy of forcing yourself to do things, and either way, you're breaking down. You're not accomplishing anything. Either way, stuff can slip by. Not quite in the same way, doesn't seem the same, but, in either case, whether you're just, sitting around as if you are burnt out, or actually suffering because you are burnt out, it doesn't work on either end of the scale.